first off, I'm still surprised as a father that these kids would be placed in the room together like this. They're not related. His family has not been together very long, and there had always been this suspicion, I think, that was kind of rambling about, that he was obsessed with her, and that's a very dangerous combination.
And just to be clear, I mean, look, we don't know.
Just
to be clear, we don't know that for sure, right? Like, we don't know the circumstances there or why they're placed together. But I hear you. But yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it's just a very intimate space. You're talking about people that are not related on any level whatsoever, biologically, and it's a very slippery slope, I think. And also the nature of how she was found, I think, kind of implied to me at the beginning that there was probably a lot of shame involved in this. I think that in one interview I'd previously said that this was an infantile move. It was the way her body was hidden, wrapped in a blanket, covered in life preservers, as if no one would ever find the body. And of course, you know, anybody that's ever been on a cruise is fully aware of how tight these accommodations are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suspected this early on.
So in other words, it's an amateur way to try to hide the body, try to hide the evidence. Here's the part that I don't. You can help elaborate. In the indictment, prosecutors are putting out this charge. I assume, and I read the statute, that they're saying this was a sexual assault through use of force. How are they able to know that? I mean, what evidence would there be?
Well, at exam, at autopsy, you know, without being too incredibly graphic, the signs of a sexual assault are readily visible many times. There would be a fight. Obviously, she's resistant. And Jesse, I got to tell you, I've read one document that used the term penetrative. And so anytime you begin to hear that, doctors have something. The forensic pathologist would have had something, maybe some type of insult to a very intimate area of hers. And with this, Jesse, as you well know, we've been covering cases for a long time together. This is potentially very damning. And here's why. You know, many attorneys will say, well, you would expect to find his DNA perhaps in the cabin. But Jesse, you're not going to expect to find his DNA in a very intimate region of her body. And so that is markedly damning.
And look, I can't sit here and say for sure they have forensic material suggesting that, but I mean, I hear you, what the circumstances could be. And yeah, 100% his DNA potentially could be within the other parts of the cabin, but if it's in places it shouldn't be, then yeah. Let me ask you this. Why not more details about how she died? And let me be clear, this is not for some macabre reason. This is a legal case. And if they're talking about mechanical asphyxiation, which could be a number of different things, why didn't they release more details in the indictment right now?
I think that they're holding back. Miami-Dade ME, which is tops in the country, is going to fill in all of those blanks when this comes to trial. We do know mechanical, and just so folks understand what mechanical is, it's a very broad spectrum. You can have mechanical with a rope. You can have it actually with a pillow. But, you know, the term arm bar has come up very, very frequently in this. And what we would be talking about is if you feature the arm as almost a blade going down on the compressed area of the neck. They're saying that there are two focal areas of, I'm not going to say hemorrhage, but they're insulted right in this area. That would imply that perhaps the neck is slightly collapsed, pressing down, continued pressure in order to generate this. And again, Jesse, that's very, very intimate. You know, you're talking almost face-to-face contact here, somebody holding her in position like this, collapsing her windpipe, essentially her trachea. Rough stuff here. And I'm sure that when the grand jury viewed this evidence, which they did, this is a federal grand jury that has indicted this young man, it was enough there. There was enough information for them to say, we got to move forward with this.
Just to put it, we have about 20 seconds. It took so long for him to be indicted. Does that suggest this may be a tricky case, that maybe the forensic evidence or other material is not so straightforward?
I don't know about that. I think it's a tricky case because of his age,
Fair.
to be honest with you.
Fair.
I was just thinking about this before we went to air. That's what I was thinking.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.